And we're back and out. You know, we're out here thrashing away on this stuff. I think Kyle's cutting some tires. He's trying to develop his tire cutting skill. I don't know, your first set didn't look bad. I mean, you know, you kind of butchered a couple of them, but
they're definitely to the chords.
Yeah, so hey, we're going light. Hey, light is fast, right?
Yep.
You know. Hey, does air have a weight? Because I don't know if those things will hold air now. You know, if we can get the air out, I mean, maybe that's.
I was honestly just thinking about that earlier. If air had weight, I feel like it probably. I'm pretty sure it don't, but I don't know. Maybe we can.
It's all good. So, Kyle, once again, I've known you your whole life, and we've done some cool stuff together.
Yeah.
This is not our first racing adventure. Matter of fact, you grew up, you know, as a little boy. You were not a foreigner to the winter circle. You were introduced to the winter circle really early on, you know, back, you know, in my career. And you kind of frequented the winter circle, got in the photos, held the checker flag, then we started getting you into some stuff. Your first racing, to my knowledge or my memory, was big wheel racing, right?
Yeah.
Remember that?
It was, yep.
And
I do remember that.
you immediately was a winner. Well, I won't get into a whole lot of detail about how you were so fast, but, you know, we had a few tricks up our sleeves, you might say. So then you went from there into karting, was immediately fast there. You know, we were dominant, fairly dominant. I mean, we had our off days, but we could go anywhere, right? Asphalt, dirt. We could run asphalt or dirt and be very competitive.
Yep.
We'd load up, go to Florida, go to South Carolina, all over North Carolina, it didn't matter. And then we moved you up. We moved you up to a higher class, you know, out of your age class, which was kind of maybe illegal, but, you know, we felt like it gave you an advantage because you were so light and so small. We could put the lead where we wanted it, so.
Yeah, we ran good too.
Oh yeah, ran good. We were tough.
Ran up front.
Yep. So again, back in the winter circle, you were always kind of guy, you know, again, going all the way back to the beginning, working with you as a boy, young boy. You were the kind of guy, if you wasn't up front, it just wasn't a good day for anybody around you.
Oh yeah. No, I never enjoyed sucking. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, you made sure people around you didn't enjoy it very much either. You know, not that, you know, we were there to win, obviously. So,
Yeah.
I mean, you know, none of us were happy, but.
Yeah, but we were new into that deal too, so it was a struggle.
Yeah, and that was a tough gig, you know. There was a lot to that. I would dare say there was more to it than what we're doing now, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know, and then again, going back to the stock cars and all that stuff. A lot of adjustments and this and that. But anyway, I would think, and you did a little, you know, messed around with motocross a little bit. And, you know, you guys kind of wrote me into this deal, and it's really fun and awesome. So I just kind of, you know, me and S kind of jumped in full bore. But the performance that we've seen out of you, I would expect nothing less. I mean, like I say, I've known you your whole life, so I expect you to be flat out, all about the win, and of course that's how things have played out.
Oh yeah.
You know, last year you were on a stock bike all year, right?
Yeah. Yeah, last year was just kind of experimental, I guess you could say. We didn't really know much about the sport. Me and Chase, you know, my brother, we talked about it, about doing it, and you know, I spent some money. You know, we were thinking that we could be competitive on stock four-wheelers. We really had no idea what I was getting into. So, yeah, went out, spent some money, got some tires, got some, you know, put some clutches on, and bought a tuner and put their little factory tune on, and thought we could just, you know, go out there and win. And so that was a little bit of a wake-up call, our first race. I remember it was actually Seth Hilton. And I came back and I'm like, dude, I don't know why I'm so slow, you know, like I feel like I'm going fast, you know, but like I'm wide open. And he just joked around. I was like, it's because we're on an Outlander, but really what it boiled down to is, you know, they just had more horsepower for the most part.
Yeah, I think I remember that. I can't remember where it was you went when that epiphany, you know, kind of occurred, but you went off somewhere. Y'all went to an event somewhere because, I was kind of, you'd talk with me a little bit about it, but I wasn't really in it then. So, and really had no interest in it, to be completely honest with you. I just wanted to see you guys doing what you wanted to do and that kind of thing. So, vague memory was like you're telling me that you think y'all can be competitive. I don't remember where you went, but I think you got on the podium or something like that, got excited. You're like, I think we can beat these guys, blah, blah, blah. And then you went somewhere and came back, and it was like a whole different tune. It was like all of a sudden it went from that to, dude, these guys are going to wear us out. Like they got these built bikes, and, we just can't run with these guys, and blah, blah, blah,
Yeah.
So, S roped me into going to Busco. It wasn't that far away, so we went and checked it out, and I was like, wow, okay, this is pretty cool. This is fun. And, my grandboys are out there, and my sons, and my granddaughter, and all this stuff. So next thing you know, we're in it. And we go pick up these built bikes, the ones we call has-been and wannabe, from, was it Kenny Miller, right?
Yeah.
Miller Motorsports. These Gen 1s, a little bit outdated bikes, but they're pretty well known. They're fast.
Oh yeah, they're definitely fast.
Yeah, so we're playing around with setups. We still we're still missing something. I mean, we're competitive. We're leading some points. Like we're second points in one class, leading the points in the other. Again, we're on Gen 1s. We're running against Gen 2s, and I think we got the power. But I mean, what's your thoughts on that? You think that we have what it takes from a chassis perspective to be where we want to be, which is, well, kind of hate to say it, but it's the truth, dominant.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like the karting deal and kind of like the stock car deal. I mean, we always had outdated stuff there, but we're still competitive. I think we just got to figure out the right setup to be running. These bikes are set up really stiff. A lot of the other bikes are the same way, but I think one thing is tire is pretty big. Air pressure, and I think the width. I think we're losing a good bit on the width with the 1180, and just the raw power that thing has is just a little bit hard to control. And other than that, I'm thinking maybe play around with springs, shocks.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, obviously. We'll be scaling these things tomorrow and kind of seeing where our weight is. But, we're at a deficit, I believe, as it pertains to, again, we're new, we're learning. And we got each bike has a set of shocks, a set of springs. So it's not like we can throw different stuff at it, and do some testing and messing around and, gathering data that way. We don't have access to a shock dyno, which is something I'd really like to have. Again, going back to our experience, chassis knowledge, this, that, and the other. I think there's a lot of ground to be gained here, but it's going to take some R&D. It's going to take some research, and again, messing around with split valve shocks, this kind of thing. So, the other thing that I've been thinking about, and we've talked about it just recently. I kind of threw it out there. And Fonnie kind of touched on it here just a second ago, talking about sponsorships and that. And she mentioned building a theme bike, which I think would be really cool. Get hooked up with the right sponsor, build a bike that's kind of dedicated to them and a new machine. I think that's, again, something that I'd be interested in doing. Just build a brand new piece, ground up build. If we were to undertake that and do that, I think adding a bike to the fleet would kind of help us out too, especially if you move Fonnie onto this bike. I mean, it just kind of, would run a little thin on equipment otherwise. So, anticipating that or thinking about that, what chassis in your mind would be a good chassis of choice to go to for a brand new ground up build?
I think right now it'd probably be the Gen 2 chassis. I think maybe a Gen 3, but I really don't feel like there's enough out there right now for the Gen 3s. I'm sure it's coming soon, but as of right now, I would say the Gen 2.
Gotcha. So when you say there's not enough out there, you mean all the way around the block, like, or is there just something specific? Like, say, for example, you know, being able to access the, you know, to be able to tune it.
Yeah. Yes, I think it's a brand new engine. So, you know, as far as aftermarket engine parts or anything like that, it's all brand new stuff. So there ain't really much out there yet. It's still being developed. They're still, you know, working on writing the tunes and all that.
Got you. I mean, I know the chassis is different. It's got an independent rear, from what I understand, which would be, you know, be kind of enticing. But so what you're saying is even the engine configuration is different.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. See, I wasn't aware of that. I thought it was pretty much the same thing. So it's like you couldn't, you know, change the jugs on it and necessarily like that stuff don't exist.
I mean, I'm pretty sure it don't. I mean, I'm not totally positive, but I'm pretty sure it's a brand new configuration.
Gotcha. Well, one last question. I think we'll shut this thing off. Like I say, it's been kind of a long interview. Again, we talked about Talledega. We don't even know. We need to try to figure out what that track's like. You know,
Yeah.
like what are we getting into? Is it something even similar whatsoever to Florida? You know, down there at the graveyard, or is it something more typical to what we normally run? I think one thing I want to keep an eye on is, and I brought this up, but I think we need to make a point to, if we can, kind of see what's going on. And what I'm getting at is low gear versus high gear. We got 2 4-gear selections, right? Wheel speed is key. We got a lot of power. So I'm thinking, I think you've already answered that question. But I'll let you speak to that. I think I already know what you're going to say about that. And it could be very detrimental to try to pick up our wheel speed just by simply going to high gear.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure these bikes are tuned for low gear through the mud. I talked to the guy that tuned them, Blaze Middleton, and he said, I want to say he said this one would go like 60 in low. So, you know, they're tuned for just really high RPM, ripping through the mud. I know I tried it on the 1180. I put it in high, and from a stop, you know, when we were testing at Mike's, and it like pretty much instantly smoked the belt. So
yeah, that's what I just remembered. So probably not a good idea. Probably better stick with what we got and not, you know, flirt with, you know, belt failure or whatever. All right, gang. So I'm going to take a minute and just thank, you know, people that's helped us out. You know, it's Maxco Lubricants in Randleman, North Carolina. They're helping us out with our lubricants. Mike Overby at Suicide Cycle Shops has been there for us. It's kind of helped us out, certainly when we were in a spot. Mike Summers at Mike's Motorsports hooked us up with some HJC helmets, gave us a pair of those. Fonny will be sporting one of those in Talledega.
he also hooked us up with a pretty killer deal on
Oh, yeah.
tires.
Yeah. We got a new set of Terminators coming. Thanks, Mike. He helped us out with that, and we certainly appreciate it. Anybody else we need to give a shout out to that's kind of been there for us, other than like our business partners, like, you know, Commonwealth Steel, old John Marlowe. Thank you, John. You're the man. It wouldn't be where we're at without you. Huge blessing to this family. Thank you. Of course, Division 5 Metals. We got a new customer. What was it? Bolt USA, out of California. Craig and those guys. Thanks a lot. We appreciate it. We're just going to keep plugging forward. You know, this team, this family, we just try to squeeze every minute, squeeze every moment. We're going to push as hard as we can. We're going to do everything we can do with the time that we have. And you can rest assured that we're going to do everything we can to be the best we can be and be at the top of our game. So we're in it to win it. Kyle, we appreciate it. I know you're a busy guy. Thanks for taking out some time. We look forward to seeing you at the next event. And I don't know if I should even mention this, but there's been whispers of retirement. Maybe we should talk about that on another interview. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's whispers of it. It's in the thought process.
Well,
I mean, it's kind of why, one of the biggest reasons why, too, why I got so involved in this is what they offer, and why we're running the King of the Deep is just what they offer for the kids. And I think I get more enjoyment, you know, out of watching them and just helping them. And, you know, I'm kind of old anyway, so. And now with Fonnie and Greg coming up, yeah, I think I might just want to take more of a pit crew kind of role, manager, whatever you want to call it.
I can relate to that. You know, I don't know, when I was racing, it was so much work. I mean, to me it was a job, and it was fun to win races, but other than that, I was just focused on what I was doing. But winning races is hard to describe what that feels like if you've never done it. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That was my high, if you will. It was all about the win. But once I got out of the seat and, you know, we started doing stuff together, your brother Chase, I can relate to what you're saying about it's very fulfilling and it's awesome. I enjoy it every bit as much. We're going to cut this off. S is giving me the sign that we're running out of battery or something, so peace out.